Hello everyone, I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we'll continue with more Batman Beyond stories. This time, it'll be the story of the Justice Lords. I'll be uploading it in parts, and they'll be in the Batman Beyond 2.0 playlist. We begin in Neo-Gotham. The news reports the fourth hostile takeover of the month. Foxtica has announced the acquisition of Power Industries, which effectively places the city's security forces under the control of a billion-dollar conglomerate. Meanwhile, a group of Jokers is attempting to rob a train. The police arrive, and despite their efforts to stop the criminals, the Jokers manage to escape without trouble. One of them thinks about keeping all the loot. Another tells him not to be selfish. The red-clad Joker removes his mask, and we see that it's Terry, but this is a different Terry, one with blonde hair. Suddenly, new people show up and tell them that folks are tired of being robbed by the Jokers. Cookie takes what they just stole and hands it to their leader, Z. Z says that's enough to cover AJ's fee, but Terry will have to keep working to pay his monthly cut, which, by the way, is 2 months overdue. Terry tells him he'll pay tonight, triple. He knows a place loaded with cash. That same night, Terry is inside a house, about to steal the money, when suddenly the owner realizes what's happening. The house belongs to Terry's mom, and she's going to call the police to report her son. Terry won't let that happen and snatches the phone from his mother. She doesn't understand what's going on. Mary McGinnis won't let her son get away this time. She'll keep him there until the police arrive. Terry leaves, seeing only his mother on the floor, crying. His friends were waiting for him outside. They know that if he doesn't pay the 2 months he owes Z, Z will wreck him. His friends leave and abandon Terry alone in the alley. Suddenly, someone new arrives and speaks to Terry. It's the Terry we all know. He asks him to listen. He needs his help. To understand what we just saw, we head to the Batman Beyond Earth we all know. There, Diana arrives in the Batcave with Bruce. It's been a long time since they last saw each other. She still looks young, and she's surprised to see Bruce. He tells her not to worry about the state she finds him in. He's old. That's how things go for normal people like him. Elsewhere, Batman and Superman are talking about the Justice Lords. As we just saw, Diana appeared out of nowhere and helped them defeat Brainiac when they needed her most. She appeared after having been in the Justice Lord's world. Terry says all he knows is that they're an evil version of the Justice League from a parallel Earth. Superman tells him it isn't that simple. There's a difference between evil and corruption. They are a reflection of what the Justice League could become if they're not careful. In the Justice Lord's world, Lex Luthor became president and murdered the Flash. Remembering how many times Luthor had escaped justice, Lord Superman decided to end the threat permanently. The more lines you cross, the easier it gets. Within a few years, the Justice Lords had purged their world of crime and turned it into a police state, with themselves in charge, of course. When the Justice Lords Batman discovered the Beyond Earth, they decided to do the same thing here. They captured the Justice League and took their places. Fortunately, the Justice League managed to escape and captured the Justice Lords, thanks to an unexpected ally, their own Lex Luthor, who used a weapon he'd planned to use on the Justice League. With that weapon, he stripped them of their powers. The main problem came when they didn't know what to do with them, since their government had no jurisdiction over people from another Earth. So Batman convinced Lord Batman that what they had done was wrong, and they sent them back to their world, but without their powers. Bruce still had doubts, but Diana convinced him. She said people always have goodness inside, and that the Lords weren't psychopaths. After all, they were them, just from another Earth. For years, that seemed to work, but eventually the dimensional barrier was sealed. Superman asked Lex Luthor how his weapon worked. Lex said it's activated by an extremely rare alien element that interferes with exotic energies. And of course, the effects eventually wear off. Superman knew they had to go back and catch them before they regained their powers. They had their first superhuman world war. On one side was Lord Batman, on the other, Lord Superman. The Justice League joined Lord Batman's side, but the other side had powerful allies like Black Adam. It was a long fight. Superman noticed the emotional connection between Lord Batman and Wonder Woman, but they couldn't stay. The Beyond Earth was under attack by Mongol, and they had to return, but Wonder Woman decided to stay and fight alongside the Justice Lords. That Earth became her new Earth. Once they finished off Mongol, the Justice League tried to go back, but the portal had been permanently closed. Terry is still wrapping his head around the fact that Bruce finally met a woman who rejected him, even if it was another Bruce. There's something Terry doesn't understand. Wonder Woman and Lady Wonder Woman are basically the same. How can they be sure their Wonder Woman came back? Superman tells him they can't. That's why he's eavesdropping on Diana and Bruce's conversation. It's not something he would normally do, but the Justice Lords always had a way of making him question what he would and wouldn't do. The conversation is interrupted. In the Batcave, Bruce asks her why she's back. Diana tells him she'll explain later. For now, he just needs to know everything is stable on the Justice Lord's Earth. What she wants to know is how things are here. Superman worries. She hasn't said anything, and now they're moving away from the Batcave, which means they should go in. In the Batcave, Terry is worried about being there without Bruce knowing. Superman tells him not to worry. They discussed this before Diana visited him. The whole time she was there, Bruce's computers were scanning her. Checking the data, Superman finds she's definitely one of the two Dianas. Moving on, Superman tells Terry he has to go to the Justice Lord's world. It's a dangerous place, and there's no open portal. His main objective will be to find Lord Batman. Meanwhile, in Neo-Gotham, Bruce is walking with Diana when suddenly both are intercepted. Before they can hurt Bruce, Diana steps in and grabs the man by the chest. He tells her to put him down. He has rights. She replies, "What about everyone else's right not to live in fear of scum like him? He made a very stupid choice, and now he'll face the consequences." Bruce stops her. He's had enough. This is making him enjoy her company far less than he thought he would. Back with Batman, he tells Superman he understands why he thinks she might be the other Wonder Woman. But something else scares him even more. Diana stayed in the Justice Lord's world to change it. But what if the one who changed was her? Either way, Batman should leave immediately. In theory, he should appear at this exact location. They hope he'll be able to contact Dick Grayson through his communicator, though they don't even know if Lord Batman is still there. Terry departs. If Bruce is anything like theirs, he'll keep the same habits. Superman warns him not to assume. People change more than he thinks. Later, we go to the Justice Lord's world. Terry arrives without much trouble, though he feels a bit dizzy. Once he steadies himself, he tries to contact Dick. Terry doesn't know if he can hear him, but something happened with his transport. He isn't in the Batcave, so he'll start a video log now. Terry peers out over the buildings. If he's lucky, he can get a sense of how strange this place is. Suddenly, someone new comes up behind him. Dick Grayson arrives with his special forces. He orders Terry to remove the mask and surrender. Terry tries to fly to escape the police. At least Dick's eye turned out better in this world. He still has both. Terry tries to escape, but before he can, he's shot in the back, sending him tumbling down a building. Worst of all, his suit has just lost power. Terry takes off the mask. The police reach the scene and try to find any trace of Batman. For the moment, there's no sign of the enemy. That's what they think, because Terry attacks them from behind. Elsewhere, Dick Grayson hears the battle reports. When he arrives, he finds only his men on the ground, without their uniforms. This is when we cut to the moment Terry met this world's Terry. To avoid confusion, we'll call him Lord Terry. Suddenly, Terry faints, and later we see him wake up, startled, in Lord Terry's house. Lord Terry tells him to calm down. Everything will be fine. Lord Terry realizes he's his counterpart from another Earth. He hasn't had hair that color in 2 years and thinks this is a past version of himself. That's why he spared him. He believes if something happens to his past self, he'll die or something will happen to him too. In a Justice Lord's world, time travel isn't all that surprising. Terry cuts him off. He's not a past version. He's from a different timeline, one where he is Batman. Lord Terry asks what he's doing here. Terry says he came to find Lord Batman. Well, finding him will be easier than he thinks. To do it, he just needs to look outside. What he sees is astonishing, a giant statue of Lord Batman. Terry asks what happened. Lord Terry says everyone knows what happened here. He was murdered by the Justice Lords. Meanwhile, on the Watchtower in the Justice League's Earth, Shazam introduces Wonder Woman to the new members, Warhawk and Aquagirl. Diana asks Aquagirl about her father. She says he's the same. No one understands exactly how Brainiac damaged his mind. For now, there's nothing they can do. She's sorry. Diana asks Aquagirl not to lose hope. Next up is Flash, Danica Williams. Wally is now part of the Speed Force, but she can talk to him. Wally tells her it's wonderful to see her again. He can't wait for them to catch up. Diana says that'll have to be another time. There's a lot for her to process right now. Superman asks Diana to return to Earth. Formal introductions can wait, but there are other things that can't. Superman tells her it's time she told him what happened to her Bruce, Lord Batman. Is he dead? Superman knows because he's been there. After he lost Lois, every time he sees a happy couple, like Captain Marvel and Flash, he relives the pain. Seeing the Bruce of this Earth again must have been hard for her. Diana says what really hurts isn't seeing him. It's that he doesn't remember anything they had. He's so much like her Bruce, just older and harder. Superman wants to know exactly what happened. She says the war spread across the world. The support Lord Superman and Lady Diana received was incredible. People saw them as strong leaders who could keep them safe. They were ready to fight for them. The conflict escalated dramatically. Diana fought against Lord Superman. They soon learned that Earth also had other rulers. This Aquaman had never forged ties with the surface. He only cared about his undersea kingdom. He made it clear that if the world kept threatening the seas, he would drown Superman. With that, they knew the war had to end one way or another. There was a final battle. It was devastating. Remembering it still hurts Diana. Bruce didn't survive. But after that terrible day, she was able to negotiate peace with Lord Superman, one that has lasted ever since. Her world isn't like theirs, but it's freer and safer than it was. Superman only has to look at his city. Metropolis was devastated by Brainiac. He killed millions across the world. Doesn't that break Superman's heart? Does Superman want to know what they did when Brainiac attacked them? They destroyed him before he could threaten a single life on Earth. The same happened with those like him. Cobra died. Darkseid died. They're not murderers. When they can end a threat without killing, they do. But they end it for good. Things aren't like they used to be. There are free elections, freedom of speech, and yes, there are those who oppose the Justice Lords. But most citizens support them. Thank them. There are millions more of them alive. Superman asks Diana who she's trying to convince, him or herself. Meanwhile, on the Watchtower, Green Lantern feels uncomfortable listening in. From what he's heard, it sounds like exactly the kind of thing the Justice Lords would do. Warhawk says they just survived an invasion. They have to be sure another war isn't coming. It's best to be careful. To Captain Marvel, this is strange. The Wonder Woman he knew was always full of kindness, and this one here seems so bitter and angry. Aquagirl says losing someone does that to people. Cairo asks Scott and Big Barda. They knew Diana. Do they notice anything different about her? They say yes. As Captain Marvel said, there's a lot of pain in her, and that's understandable, given decades of war. Fundamentally, she reminds Barda of an honorable warrior she once knew. Danica Williams tells them the old Flashes can't agree. Some say it's a trap, others think it really is her. They have to accept it. The only one here who can truly know is Superman, and if he can't, then nobody can. Suddenly, something starts happening to the transporter. The computer recognizes the being, it's Superman. But they can call him Lord Superman. Lord Superman immediately tries to attack. Everyone has to work together to stop him. Even he can't beat them all at once. Scott tells them no. First they must shut down the transporter before someone else comes through. Lord Superman would rather they didn't. He blasts Scott in the back with his heat vision. The Justice Lords have heard so much about this world that he simply wanted to show it to his friends. These are his beloved Justice Lords. The teams start fighting immediately. Captain Marvel launches himself at Black Adam. Cairo can't believe there's a Green Lantern who ambushes her enemies. He looks closely and calls her sister. She attacks him. She already told him she is not his sister, and her name is Karari. It's been a long time since Lord Superman was here, but its heroes seem more incompetent than ever. Now he only wants to know one thing. Well, it's not necessary anymore, because as he looks at the screen, Lord Superman finds the person he came to find. There is his wife. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.